When the world didn't want me and made me feel small, all I am is broken inside. Some echo identity who can't find his shadow always hurts mentally. Let's go ahead and get into the lyric breakdown for Deafening. This is a song that I feel like is really personal to me. It's more personal than I think a lot of the other songs. This song specifically talks about my sensitive hearing, because I have sensitive hearing. It's been a huge deal in my life, and I really hate it. It's the worst thing that I've had to deal with in life, and just there's been so many instances where like I've dealt with the sensitive hearing and I just don't want to deal with it. It's still a constant issue in my life, even though like I really try to avoid like moments of really heavy noise, but you know, it happens. But without further ado, let's get into this. So, starting off with the intro, which I think a lot of people will probably be confused about if you don't know me, but obviously if you listen to the song, maybe you'll figure it out. But let's start with the intro of the song, which is, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. I guess I surrender since you're my mother. So this is, I think, probably not where my hearing problem starts, but it's definitely a factor, and we'll get into like where it really starts. But this was a huge factor in where like I'm in my room doing something or whatever, and you know, I think a lot of people probably deal with this, but like if you have sensitive hearing, this actually became something that was traumatic for me, not like PTSD, but like I would say there's a bit of trauma to this. So if it wasn't one thing, it was another. I guess I surrender since you're my mother. So my mother, I think a lot of times when I was getting a bit older and I was trying to like, you know, be in my room and doing stuff, constantly from behind the door, I would hear her like shout my name or just call my name for something. And she did it so many times throughout the entirety of, I mean, I've moved now, but living in the old house, like, there's just constant times where she would do that. And now I've got it in my brain and like in my head that like, you know, and now for my hearing, like I feel like sometimes I'll hear my name, and I'm constantly turning my shoulder, checking the door, making sure no one's there. It's just so traumatic for me now. Like I think I'm hearing my name being called when I have like my headphones on or something, and I have to like turn around and check, and it's so frustrating. Even if I'm hearing like noises from like knocking at the door or something, or hear my dogs bark about it, or I'm hearing noises outside from the window that's closed, it's just like, or if I'm hearing noises from another room, I gotta check it out. And it's just like, it's so frustrating to a point where like it's now become trauma for me. And it's something that I have to deal with for the rest of my life, which is crazy to me that I have to deal with that. It's insane to me, and I wanted to make this the intro. I almost thought about getting rid of it, but like it's such a pivotal point in my life that like I think kind of, you know, put another like wall on my whole hearing issue. You know, like there's tons of walls that I have to like break down, but it's another wall that's added onto. So I have to talk about it. I have to talk about this issue that like I've dealt with for a while, and it's like, you know, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. So if there wasn't one thing going on, it was another thing. Like, you know, I think that's like a popular saying, like if it wasn't one thing, it's another. Like, oh, if there's not one thing going on, there's another thing going on, you know? And then I guess I surrender since you're my mother, because like I have to do anything like that she would say, you know, when I was younger, and it was just like I constantly, you know, had to be helping out, and it was just something that was really annoying, you know, but like you kind of have to deal with it. But now it's become this traumatic thing in my life, so it's not fun. But getting into the first verse here, I've been hearing things lately, and I don't know why their voices get louder every time. So like I think when it comes to like, you know, having sensitive hearing, you hear things a lot, and you don't know why their voices get louder every time, you know? Like I think like constantly when like there's been points where I've been in the shower, and sometimes I think I'm hearing things but I'm not, and the voices in my head just get louder, you know, and I don't know how to deal with it most of the time. Sometimes I just try to tune it out and focus on what I'm doing and, you know, get out of the shower and start my day. You know, that's kind of what that's been like. But, yeah, I've been hearing things lately. I don't know why. Their voices get louder every time. And moving on to the second part of the verse here. I'm looking for escape, and all I find is a ringing in my ears. Will I survive? We will get into the whole ringing thing, but it kind of ties into the last chorus, which I want to just dive into. So, but the whole ringing in my ears, I think, like, just in general now, like, sometimes I will get a ringing in either my left or right side of my ears, and I don't know how to deal with it. I think it's just a part of, like, the trauma that I've experienced with, like, hearing super loud noises. And it's a genuine question, like, will I survive? Like, will I be deaf when I'm older? You know, will I lose my hearing? That's why the song is called Deafening, because I'm worried that with all the things I've experienced and all the things I talk about in this song, I don't know if I will be deaf or not. I really hope that I don't lose my hearing, because that would be awful, because I like listening to music. I like playing video games. It's like that sort of thing, you know? But it's a genuine question, like, will I survive? But then moving on to the next part, the next thing here, pre-chorus, the noise, it escalates in my mind, which it's true. Like, I feel like sensitive hearing, it's not just like, you know, oh, you just hear things. It's also a mental thing, because constantly, like, you know, I'm thinking someone's calling for my name, or someone's, like, calling for me, or, like, someone's at the door, or this and that. Like, it's a mix of things, but it's not just a physical thing that you're, like, you know, you're hearing. Your mind will play tricks on you and think, oh, this is what you're hearing. This is what's going on outside. But actually, when you check the noise out, there's nothing there. And that's how it is, and it's stupid and dumb. And then the next part here, the pain, it's relentless on a rewind. Like, there is actual, like, for those who don't have sensitive hearing, there is pain tied to sensitive hearing. Like, so much pain that I have to deal with on a daily basis. It's not like physical pain. I would say, like, it's more mental pain, but it can lead to physical pain if not treated. You know? And it's awful, man. I really wish I didn't have sensitive hearing, but I do. It's like it's one of the bad perks you get in life, you know? And then the last part here is, will I heal just in time? Because I think there's a reference there, but will I heal just in time is like, by the time I'm like 50 or 60, right? Like, am I going to be fine? Am I going to have perfect hearing? Or am I going to need, like, a hearing thing, you know, which I don't want a hearing aid. Really don't. But the whole just-in-time reference, that's actually a reference to a band called Therefore Tomorrow, because at one point during the writing of the song, I was actually going to include one of their lyrics for Backbone, I think, because there's a line in the song where it goes, the playback is deafening, and I thought, it's a really cool line, but I cannot copy from another band, because that would be that wouldn't be genuine at all. So it's something I didn't do. I went back on it. It was just like, I'll include a just in time reference for those who know that song, which that band is incredible. Was incredible. No longer a band, by the way. Just, you know, a little tidbit of information. But moving on to the chorus. So the chorus is, the lyrics kind of split into three parts. For the first course, second course, and the third course, the lyrics do switch up a little bit, because each course is telling a different story of a time where, like, I've gone through a traumatic experience of hearing things that were way too loud. So let's go over the lyrics here. I'm lost, gunshots in the wind. So this line, I talked about it in the other in the video before this, but basically this line references it was a time where I think I was at a funeral for a relative I didn't know, but he was a veteran, so I went to that. And I remember it was like they were going to do the, 21 gun salute or whatever it is. But I remember my mom was trying to cover my ears, and like, I kept pulling her hands away because I wanted to hear whatever it was they were going to do. What a mistake that was, gunshots you should be wearing headphones for, but I don't know if her hands wouldn't have done anything anyway. But I heard those gunshots, immediately started crying and ran back to the car. And then, my mom gave me garbage for it because, like, yeah, you get what you deserve because you weren't listening or paying attention. But yeah, like, I literally heard gunshots, and that was like I think that was my first traumatic experience for like having these hearing issues and having sensitive hearing. That was my first instance of it. And I think that's kind of what has led to me having these hearing issues. And that I'm starting to, like, I've already realized that, like, I could have hearing issues in the future, but who knows, But going down the line here, total exhaust, will I give in, let it win, let the demons in again. So I think when you hear something so loud and you have to deal with it, you feel exhausted. Like, not physical exhaust, probably more mentally exhausted, but like, not being able to hear is the worst thing. I really think it is, because it's almost like your brain. Like, if you got dementia or something, like, it's a part of you, you have to hear every day. It's like not being able to talk, you have to talk every day, But then the will I give in, let it win, let the demons in again. So will I get, like, basically with the whole gunshot thing, like, will I give in to the sound? Will I let the sound win? Will I let the sound/demons in again? Will I let that loud noise back in again? And so far we're good. I have not let those, like, that noise back in my ears again, but something I try to avoid, And then the other lyrics here, I hear them beckoning. The things I've listened to will be my reckoning. All I want is silence without it being deafening. Like, the demons, basically, I hear them beckoning, and the things I've listened to, so like gunshots or, background noise, like, will be my reckoning. All I want is silence without it being deafening, because even when it's completely silent in a room, it's kind of just, it's dead air, but like, you can still hear things. Right, you can still, your mind will start playing tricks on you. You can hear things even if it's silent. So all I want is silence without it being deafening. That's the whole point of the song, is like, I'm talking about how I want to be able to hear normally without having issues. And in my reality, that's just not the case. That's never going to happen. But it's something that I really wanted to talk about, and talk about in a song more specifically. But moving on to verse 2. Lived my whole life with a curse. The walls could talk and it got worse. And again, like, I've talked about, like, like the walls I'm in, like, it feels like, I'm just hearing noise from all four corners, and the walls could talk and it got worse, because I think I'm hearing things sometimes when, like, I'll go outside of the room and, like, there's nothing going on. It's my head playing tricks on me. So I live my whole life with this curse at this point, But moving on to the next part of the lyrics here for the verse 2. How did I grow up with all this hurt just to be the same? Wish I could reverse. How did I grow? That's something I've asked myself a lot. Like, how did I grow up with all this hurt? How did I grow up with so many hearing issues that I can't control it? It feels like I should have just, had a perfect life, But, like, clearly that wasn't the case, and I had to grow up with all of this, like, sensitive hearing that's made my, that's made everything worse for me, and part of me wishes I could go back and reverse the choices I made with hearing all the things I've heard, and just been like, oh, give me headphones, just give me headphones, I'll put those on for the gun noises and everything else. But yeah, that's pretty much verse 2 in a nutshell. Is like, I wish I could just go back, and the pre-chorus is still the same, except cutting out a part of it, and then jumping into the chorus again. It's a little different because I talk about fireworks. So I'm lost, fireworks in the air. So there was a time when I was younger where I really wanted to watch fireworks, and I had a blanket all set out in, like, this grass near a park. I really just wanted to watch fireworks and listen to them. Another mistake, because I remember running away crying just the fireworks were so awful, I didn't want to hear them at all anymore. I remember running back to my room and just crying because like it was kind of with the gunshots. It was a terrible noise I heard. It was so bad. And like now I don't think fireworks bother me as much, but it's still like was pretty traumatic at the time because it was a mistake. I think I remember doing it a second time and it was also a mistake. Like just wasn't happening, you know? And then again, the lyrics here again, total exhaust. Is this even fair? Do they really care? The angels try to repair. So this, again, another line switch here, but also a flip on the whole, the demons, let the demons win again. The angels try to repair. Is this even fair? Do they really care? The angels try to repair. So like, I think I did a flip on this basically where like, is having sensitive hearing really fair to me? You know, do they really care? The ones like up above, like the angels. The angels try to repair because my hearing still isn't repaired. I don't know if you can repair hearing. I don't think you can, but like the angels try to repair. Like clearly didn't work out, you know, because I'm still dealing with these issues to this day. And then cutting off the song here without it being going into the bridge. Lyrics here, abusive to my soul, the thoughts I have make me lose control. Again, like the whole sensitive hearing thing, it's abusive to my soul. The thoughts I have make me lose control. Because again, with sensitive hearing, your mind starts playing tricks on you, thinking like, oh, you're hearing this, but you're not actually hearing that. And it feels abusive, I think, a little bit, because it feels like I'm just getting told I'm hearing something, but it's something else entirely, or there's nothing going on, you know? And that's something I've tried to manage, but like it's hard, you know? And then moving on to the other lyrics here, but I'll never give in even if the sonic boom closes in. Because I think a sonic boom, I'm pretty sure, is like the loudest noise you could hear, although I could be wrong. I could be wrong, that might not be the loudest noise in the world, but I was trying to think of the loudest noises you could hear, and the sonic boom I think would probably be pretty close, you know? So, like, even though, like, I deal with this sense of hearing on a daily basis, I'll never give in, even if the sonic boom closes in. I'll never let them win, demons, you know? And never giving in, I'm not giving in. Because I just won't. I won't. Even if my hearing goes out, I'll still try to fight, you know? And then, pre-chorus again, but it's will I heal just in time? And then the last part of this chorus we're going to talk about is the whole ringing thing. I'm lost, fly on the wall. I've had this fear, and I still have this fear to this day, of a fly crawling into my ear and, like, I don't know, messing with my hearing for some reason. It's always been a fear of mine that, like, something will crawl in my ear, but mostly a fly crawling into my ear would be the worst thing, because I think at one point, a fly might have crawled in my ear for some reason or another, and I hate flies for that reason. But I had like a traumatic experience where like I had the worst ringing in my ear to a point where I was crying at like a babysitter's, and it was just the loudest ringing in my ear, and I did not know what it was. And to this day, I think it was a fly like dying in my ear. But I don't know. There's points where like I'll bend over to grab something, or I'll do something that like, I don't know, something my head doesn't like, and I'll hear like a high-pitched noise telling me to stop. It's really weird, and I don't know how else to explain it other than that, but that's been like a big fear of mine. And other than like, the only other ringing I've heard in my ears is like, it was like more into my adult life. I think a few years back or a couple years back where I was putting in a code for an alarm that was about to go off wrong, and I heard the loudest noise I've ever heard possible. It was so loud, I could not hear a thing. Like, it was just the worst noise ever. And it just, the whole ringing, I hate when my ears ring, but like, that's probably the worst I think you can hear with sensitive hearing is the ringing in your ears. But then I wrote here, total exhaust, will I fall, lose my hearing to it all, let the ringing break down my walls. And yeah, like I'm just wondering, will I lose my hearing to it all? Because again, in the future, like maybe I could lose my hearing, and let the rain break down my walls. Because I mentioned earlier, walls, the traumatic experience I've gone through, and let the rain just break those down, and yeah, kind of lose it all. Because I don't want to lose my hearing. I really don't. I hope I don't in the future, but it's kind of a we'll see thing, you know? But then the last part of the course here, I wrote deaf, deafen, deafening. Because apparently there's just three ways to spell, like, deaf. You know, it's crazy, but that's how I ended the song. And I think, like, the message for the song is, like, you know, take care of your hearing. Take care of your ears, because they're the most important thing. Part of me wants to get, like, I don't know what they are, but like cups for the ears, for the inside of the ear, so nothing crawls in there. But I feel like that'd be kind of pointless. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy about that, but yeah, this song I think just goes over a lot of my trauma with hearing, and it's something I really wanted to talk about and sing about because I think it's super important. But anyway, so if you want to listen.